I recently spent weeks building this guitar from a DIY kit, pouring my heart and soul into it, using all of my skills to make this the best possible guitar that it can be. And the end result, it's pretty cool, and I'm super duper proud of it. But this guitar got pulverized when it went head to head with this guitar. And that just plain hurt my feelings. So now I'm going to see if I can wrestle away the championship belt from this factory built guitar and maybe end up with something really special. Hello and greetings, my internet friends. This is Miller's Custom Guitars, and if you've been following any of my videos recently, you know that I have been going down a deep dive on the topic of guitar kits. I just finished a 3-video series on the subject. In the first video, I talked about some of the reasons you might want to buy a kit, and maybe some of the reasons to skip it, and some tips on how to shop for one if you are in the market. In my second video, I took you along with me for an entire guitar kit build, from opening the box for the first time to plugging this guitar in for the very first time. If you're unsure about building a guitar kit, this may help you to better understand some of the steps involved and can help you to know what to expect when building a kit. The result of that video was this guitar that I hold in my hands. To be honest, I'm pretty happy with how this guitar turned out. The build process was extremely rewarding and really enjoyable, super fun. And the finish, it turned out almost exactly as I had hoped, but there are definitely some shortcomings. I'm not going to go into really deep detail into this. I talked about some of those shortcomings in my third video, where I looked at the entire cost of the kit build, including all of the materials, and I also calculated my opportunity costs. I found out that my total opportunity costs for this guitar end up being around $285 when you factored in my labor costs. So I took an equivalent amount of money and bought the best $285 guitar that I could find, which I felt was this EART Classic S. I found that despite its budget-minded price tag, the EART comes loaded full of premium features like a roasted maple neck, a high-quality tremolo system, and best of all, stainless steel frets. I could barely believe it. With all of these features, the EART blew the kit guitar out of the water. It's also very attractive, it plays great, and it sounds much more dynamic and responsive, and definitely a lot louder than the kit guitar. I'll link to each of those videos in the show notes so you can watch and catch up if you missed any of those videos, and you can see how we got to where we're at today. But my kit build series is over, and part of me is a little unsatisfied. I mean, I spent all this time, effort, and sure, some money too, building this guitar, only to have it end up being the third best Strat in my collection. And you know what? I just can't allow that. I just worked too dang hard to just sit idly by and allow some floozy in a skirt to just walk in and get crowned the prom queen. Not on my watch. I gotta see if I can soup this puppy up and try to turn some heads, if you know what I mean. But there's a problem. I'm completely strapped for cash. Honestly, I really shouldn't have even bought that EART. If only there was, like, I don't know, a yard sale or something, but for like guitar technicians workshops where you could just go and poke around and see what they had lying around. Hey guys, what in the world is going on here?
It's a guitar shop rummage sale.
Guitar shop rummage sale? I've never heard of that. What's that?
It's kind of like a yard sale, but you go to my dad's shop and look through drawers.
Look through drawers?
It's a guitar shop.
If I find stuff, I can buy it off you guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how much do I pay for it?
Find about the end.
At the end?
Yes.
Does your dad know you're doing this?
No.
Nah.
Oh my gosh.
We're just trying to get money.
Guitar shop rummage sale. I wonder what I can find in here. Gotta be something I can use for my kit guitar. Oh yeah. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Real nice. We'll have to take a look at that. I see a bowl in the back. Foam, tape measure. Ooh! Got some knobs. That's nice. There's only 2 of them though. Got some drills. Oh, I got a basket here. I got some copper shielding tape. That'll work. Buffalo horn. Oh! Let's see what that is. Oh yeah. That'll work. Oh yeah. Got a set of tuners. That's for telly. That won't work. Telly. Oh, this might work. It's a Strat style bridge, kind of. Let's see what's in this toolbox here. Switch. That's a telly switch. Let's see. I don't need any tune-o-matics. What's this? That's a push-pull. Might need that. Hold on to that. Let's see. Oh, look. Some locking tuners. Nice. Check that out. Strap locks. Perfect. Anything else floating around in here? Oh. Check that out. Nice. Stack of sandpaper. That's handy. Deep throat clamps. That's nice. Oh, winner. Tuners. You know, this might look like a bunch of guitars just piled in the corner, but this is a dead giveaway. Unfinished guitar body added to the pile. I bet you there's some good stuff in here if we just start digging. Oh, straight away. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah. Got one. See if there's anything else. Got another neck. Ooh, good one. I think I see one more thing in the back. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to take a look at these. Let's see if there's anything up here. Another perloid pick guard. Oh, whoa. Look at that. Complete set of Fishman Fluent Strat pickups. Ah, here we go, guys. I found some awesome stuff, and I can't believe your dad had this stuff just sitting around in a drawer. Like, I got some nicks. What do you think? Take a look. Tell me what you think I should pay for that. I'll get my wallet out.
$5.
Are you kidding me? Do you guys know how much money this stuff costs? These pickups are like $300, and these guitar necks are like $200 a piece. And are you sure you?
$10.
Oh my gosh, your dad's gonna be so mad. Here's
We don't care.
$10.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Run.
All right, guys, skit's over.
No.
Give me my money back.
No.
No, skit's over. We were just pretending.
It's my money.
Oh my God. Let's try to get some lemonade.
That's $1.
$1 for lemonade?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, fine. Here's $1.
No, still keep that stuff. Keep that stuff. You got it for $10. That's really cheap for like $300 things.
Oh my
We don't
gosh.
really know how much they cost.
Oh, jeez. Wow, guys. Look at all the great stuff that I'd forgotten I had. Sometimes it pays to dig through your parts drawers. Anyway, I found a number of parts lying around. We've got to be able to find some things that in this bag that'll work for this project. You guys, you got to check out my parts haul. Let's see what I found in here. First off, I found a couple of different types of high-quality tuners. One of the biggest problems with this kit guitar is the awful tuners included with the kit. If we're going to talk about any upgrades for the kit, that's about the highest priority on the list. There's a set of vintage style tuners with bushings that were on a pull-off from a Gretsch I worked on recently. But these are for 3x3 style headstocks. They're not really going to work for this guitar. Oh, hey, check this out. Also found a set of Fender locking tuners. Nice. I've used and installed these a number of different times, both on my own guitars and for customers. They're great all-around locking tuners. They're simple to use. They're attractive looking and moderately priced. If these two sets of tuners were the only ones I found, I'd definitely go with these Fender locking tuners. But I also found something really special in one of my parts drawers. Guys, you gotta check this out. Guys, check this out. A while ago, I bought a set of Graphtec ratio tuners to put them on a project neck I was working. Check this out. This was the first neck that I ever made from scratch. It turned out really pretty and completely unplayable. However, for some reason, I left these super nice, expensive tuners on this neck for a really long time. Once I admitted to myself that the neck was never going to be playable, I decided to pull these tuners off, and they've just been sitting in a drawer over there ever since, like looking for a home. Look, these are going on this kit guitar for sure. That's going to solve some problems. Those tuners are money, but probably the sweetest find on this entire haul was a set of Fishman Fluence single width pickups. You're probably not going to believe me, but I really did just have these lying around my shop. I had a set of these pickups in my old part Strat. About a year ago or so, I yanked them out to do some prototype wiring experiments and accidentally damaged them. So embarrassing. Eventually, I contacted Fishman and sent them in and paid them a reasonable service fee in order to get the pickups repaired. After a while, they sent me back a completely new set of pickups. I just never got around to reinstalling them into anything. That part Strat has been completely disassembled, and I don't know, it's just been kicking around. But crap, man, I absolutely love these pickups, and I even designed my own custom wiring schematic for them to get the sounds that I like. These pickups are even going to solve the problems that I have with the cheap electronics, since they come with high quality US made pots and a jack that are made to last. These pickups are going to be a massive upgrade for this guitar. But hey, we can't just upgrade the pickups and the tuners, right? If we're gonna talk about upgrades, we absolutely can't ignore the bridge and tremolo system. The system that came on the kit guitar was pretty abysmal. The saddles were pretty awful, and the trem block, it was the smallest I've ever seen, literally. Don't even get me started on the tremolo bar itself, which was of such poor construction that it was either super loose in the hole or pointed the wrong direction. Let's take a look at a couple other things that I found in my haul. I found a couple old bodies down at the bottom of the pile, and I found a trem floating around. Something's got to work. First thing I found is the body for my old black and chrome parts Telecaster that has custom pickups. Let me grab that. This Tele's also been disassembled for a while, but it has a custom Vibramate tailpiece and saddles and a Bigsby B5 tremolo. There's actually a ton of really cool parts on this body, but looking at it, I don't think any of them are going to be right for this kit guitar. That's a bummer. Let's see. Hey, check out this tremolo. I also found this sweet high-quality tremolo. It's a Maverick Super V tremolo. It is designed to marry the best things about a Strat and the best things about a Tele. This would be amazing, but it would require a lot of modifications to make it work. And I already have a project that it's earmarked for. It's not the right fit for this guitar, unfortunately. Let's see if there's anything else. I found my old Strat body, the one I mentioned that it was disassembled. And this body had a really high quality tremolo system, and this might be worth salvaging. Let's take a closer look. This is a PRS 6-screw tremolo with a solid brass block. It has chrome plated brass saddles, and it even comes with a pop-in bar. This tremolo system predates the newer 6-screw tremolos that PRS is now putting on the Silver Sky guitars. And it's the one that PRS puts on their custom 24s and Mark Tremonti models. I absolutely love this tremolo because of the great sustain and smooth feel. It has great tuning stability and really easy to use. Plus, I love that pop-in bar feature. It's great. I bought this trim system used on Reverb, which it's always kind of a risk when you do that. But it actually worked out great because these trim systems are like $300 brand new. I've had it for about 5 years. It's always performed flawlessly. There's also a couple of other parts on this guitar. It also has a lithium-ion battery pack that doubles as the tremolo spring cover, and that's going to be a great option for the kit guitar because this will power the Fishman Fluence pickups, and they're active and they require battery. And with this, I won't need to keep a 9-volt battery underneath the pick guard. This battery pack is kind of awesome. You can power your pickups for up to 250 hours on a single charge. I've had this battery pack for a couple years. I don't think I remember ever charging it after that first time. And then I also found this neck plate. It says Fender, Corona, California. I'll put that on there too. That's kind of a cool part. These parts are definitely going on to the kit guitar. Probably the thing I'm most proud of on the kit guitar is the neck. It feels, plays, and even looks great. However, while I was looking through the shop, I found not one, but 2 great necks that were unmounted, and it's worth at least taking a look at them. Both are Warmoth necks. I'd really hate to lose the matching headstock that I worked so hard for, but even losing that, either of those Warmoth necks would be a massive upgrade in quality of materials and construction, so we got to take a closer look at them. The first neck is the other half of that black and chrome Telecaster that we talked about. This is a great neck. It's got roasted maple. It's got a rosewood fingerboard. It's got a compound fingerboard radius, stainless steel frets. It features Warmoth's 59 round back neck profile. I painted the headstock black to match the black body on that other guitar. This neck and the next neck we're about to see, they were my lab rats while I was experimenting with learning how to do decals. So both necks already have the same logo that is on my kit neck. And this neck would be an excellent candidate to put on the kit guitar and would definitely be an upgrade over the kit neck. The only problem is the other neck, it's even better. The second Warmoth neck was the one that used to be on my old Strat. This neck, it's my favorite neck of all time. I prefer it over any other neck on any other guitar that I've ever played. It features beautiful bird's eye figuring over the entire thing, an Indian rosewood fingerboard. This neck also features a compound radius for really fast and comfortable playing all the way up the neck, whether you're playing chords or soloing. It also has a very well cut Graphtec Tusk XL nut. Tuning stability has never been an issue when using this neck. However, my favorite feature is the neck profile, which Warmoth calls their boat neck. It's very fat, with a subtle V shape to it. They compare it to like a vintage Tele. I've always liked big necks, and I cannot lie. And this one, for me, is perfect. Every single time I grab this neck, it just feels like home to me. I've tried a bunch of different Warmoth profiles, and I've played a lot of guitars, and this one is the most comfortable one for my preferences. This one's definitely going on the kit guitar. Okay, well, that gives us the foundation for our kit guitar overhaul. I'm starting to get excited a little bit. With the new neck, we're going to be playing better than ever. And with the new bridge and tuners, we're going to have incredible responsiveness, sustain, and tuning stability. And you just know that the pickups and electronics are going to help our tone to really shine. But that's not everything that I found while I was at that yard sale that I pretended to go to. I found a bunch of other little trinkets and doobobs that should help to kick this guitar up a notch. I found this white pearloid Strat style pickguard. Cool, right? Found these white pearlescent knobs. This combination should really make the front of the guitar pop. I also found a chrome knurled knob that I can use for the push-pull like I did on my Player Plus Strat. I also found a set of strap locks. I like to keep a strap with each guitar that I have, and having a strap lock helps to make that possible. I also found some copper shielding tape That'll come in handy since I didn't do any shielding when I built that guitar in the first place. That'll help tidy that up. Well, now that my yard sale shopping spree is done, I realized that there's a few other things that I still would like to have for this overhaul that I couldn't find just by poking around the shop. So I bought those things online. I got a new 5-way super switch so I can do custom wiring. I got some roller string trees, and I got myself a set of high quality String Joy strings. Now that I got everything assembled, let's get to work. First things first, even though I just spent ages getting this thing put together, it's got to come apart now. I'm going to take this thing all the way back to the studs, so to speak, so that all I have is just the finished body and basically nothing else. So let's start by getting the body ready. But before I start installing all these upgrades, I wondered if there was anything else I could do to separate this guitar from the pack. And it recently struck me that this style of guitar finish is kind of perfect for adding some simulated playware, sometimes called relicking. There are a lot of tutorials online about how to relic a guitar, but almost all of them are about how to like age your hardware or add like cracking or checking to your finish. And I found very few videos that actually demonstrate how to add simulated play wear without it looking like you just, I don't know, took a belt sander to your guitar. Fortunately, I already had a test piece that was finished in the same way as the guitar. So I was able to experiment with it and try a couple different ways to simulate some play wear. In the end, I found that the best way to add the relict look that I was seeking was to abrade the desired surface with progressively finer Scotch-Brite pads. I started with a red pad, wearing away the color down to the wood. In some places I needed 320 grit because the red pad wasn't abrasive enough. And I did that any place that I wanted the wear to appear. I used some photos of vintage guitars as a reference of actual play wear in order to inform me where the wear should appear. After I put the wear in the locations that I wanted it, I then switched to a finer gray Scotch-Brite pad and smoothed that out. Finally, I followed that up with the white Scotch-Brite pad and polished that all up. Overall, I think the results looked pretty good. It makes the guitar look like it's, I don't know, lived a life. And I think it's really going to help the guitar to, I don't know, jump off the stand visually when stacked up with other guitars. It seems like, I don't know, everyone has an opinion on relicking. You either love it or hate it. I like it when it's tastefully done and honestly done. If you're not trying to pass off a new guitar as an old guitar and trying to sell it for old guitar money, but you're just trying to, I don't know, give your guitar a little extra mojo, I think it's really cool. I don't know, but what do you think? Put your answers down in the comments. After that, I moved on to shielding the control cavity. This is one thing that I skipped during the kit building phase. But I wanted this guitar to be able to go toe-to-toe with any premium guitar, and that means that it needs to be as quiet as possible. Shielding the control cavity creates a Faraday cage, which can block rogue noise and radio signals from being picked up by the electronics of your guitar. Just a quick note, if you have single coil pickups, this isn't going to reduce or cancel the 60 cycle hum that is created by your pickups. Some people think that it does. However, it can help to block excess noise or other sounds that are coming in from other places other than your guitar. Before getting started, I made sure that my electronics cavity could fit the extra height of the push-pull pots that's going to go on there, and the extra width of the super switch, which I used, and made sure that those would fit. I used adhesive-backed copper tape to cover the entire cavity, including the pickup routes, and made sure that the back of the pickguard is appropriately shielded as well, and everything was, so that was no problem. Next up, I installed the Prs Tremolo. I was kind of nervous about whether the screw holes from the USA-made tremolo would align with the foreign-made bridge tremolo holes, and in this case, there ended up being no problem at all. The holes lined up perfectly, drilled it straight in. Another concern of mine was whether the full-sized brass tremolo block would be too large for this body, which is thicker than my the old strap body that it was in, which it didn't quite fit. But still not quite as thick as the American standard Fender bodies. And after installing the trim, I found that, yeah, it definitely was a problem. However, since I did have that problem with the previous installation, I already had the fix ready to go. I had glued some shims on the underside of the Fishman battery pack, and it just raised it off of the body just enough so that the underside of that tremolo and those springs didn't hit, and that solved that problem. So now it's on to the electronics. After doing that relicking, I realized that the white pearloid pickguard that I was going to use, it looked good, but the cream pearloid pickguard I found, it looked even better. I didn't want to admit it, but I checked and confirmed this with my wife and my daughter and everyone in the family, and they all agreed, yeah, the cream looked better. I had to go with that one. So I installed the Fishman Fluence single width pickups onto the cream pickguard, along with the super switch, the volume and tone pots, and a push-pull pot. Now, Fishman Fluence pickups are active pickups. That means not only do they need power, which we got covered with the battery pack, but it also means you can't use regular 250K pots with them. Otherwise, they're going to sound horrible. You've got to use the 25K pots that are provided with the pickups. I don't like traditional Stratocaster wiring where the bridge pickup has a separate tone pot. I find this confusing and problematic. So instead, I wire this guitar up so that the middle pot is actually going to be a master tone control. That means that the third hole doesn't have anything to do, and that's where the push-pull pot is going to come in. The traditional use for a push-pull pot is as a coil tap for a humbucker, but it doesn't have to be. At its most basic, it's really two separate controls that are joined together with one actuator. You have a potentiometer, which can do things like change your volume or tone on your guitar, but it also works as a variable resistor. Also, you have a simple double pull, double throw switch, or DPDT, which is activated when you pull the knob. The switch can be used to connect or disconnect anything on your guitar's circuit that you want switched. I'm going to use the potentiometer part of this component to wire this guitar with the neck pickup blend mod. This allows you to blend in the neck pickup no matter what selection you are on. And this gives you the traditional 5 Stratocaster pickup voices without any additional thinking or fumbling with your controls. But it also gives you the option to blend in the neck and bridge like a telly, or all 3 pickups at the same time, and a bunch of more options as well, since you can blend in as much or as little neck pickup as you want just by turning the knob. Now, to understand what I'm doing with the push-pull, you need to better understand what Fishman does with their pickups. Every set of Fishman Fluence pickups has more than one voicing. That's one of the things I love about them. You can see me go into this more in depth in my baritone overhaul video. On the single width pickups, voice 1 is like a vintage style mid-50s Stratocaster tone. It's very bright and jangly. It's very clear sounding and glass. Voice 2 is more like an overwound Texas hot style sound. It's kind of hot and kind of honky with lots of bark and bite. It's perfect for like Texas style blues. Switching between the two voices is easy. You just use any type of switch to connect the gray wire from the preamp to the ground. Fishman usually includes a push-pull pot for you to wire up to be able to access the second voice. But that's not how I'm going to be using the push-pull. I'm going to be using the push-pull to override what I'm doing with the super switch. Well, what am I doing there? Well, let's get into it. For the Fishman single width pickups, I found that I liked voice 2, the Texas hot sound, in the neck pickup and the bridge pickup 95% of the time. However, I also found that I liked voice 1, the vintage voice, in positions 2, 3, and 4 100% of the time. That's why I designed my own wiring diagram using a super switch. The way I have it wired, the super switch will automatically connect that gray wire to ground in positions 1 and 5, giving me voice 2. Then it will disconnect that wire in positions 2, 3, and 4, giving me voice 1, that vintage voice. This gives me exactly the tones I want all the time without thinking about it or using any push-pulls. Well, then what does that push-pull do? The push-pull lifts that gray wire out of the circuit, giving me the option to bypass voice 2 and just use voice 1 if I ever wanted to do that in the bridge or neck position. I found that once in a very blue moon, I wanted the vintage style voicing sound available on the neck or on the bridge for a specific song. But I found I never preferred the Texas hot style voicing in positions 2 through 4 in any scenario, so I'm willing to let those slide forever. We'll go with the wiring schematic I designed. So I installed the Fishman battery / spring cover with permanent shims, so the pickup will have the power they need. And I finished wiring everything up, and I replaced the output jack in the process, and I gave everything the old tap test before screwing everything in and installing the knobs. So now let's talk about what I did with the neck. This neck hasn't been played for a while, so I really wanted to give it the once over. I quickly checked the frets for high spots and then leveled and crowned the affected frets. Then I masked and polished all the frets to an ultra high shine for an almost stainless steel-like playability. Also, I've never had rolled edges on this guitar, and I've kind of been on a rolled edges kick lately, ever since experiencing them for the first time on my Fender Player Plus Strat. Rolled edges provide such a luxurious playing experience. I'm a convert. I'm going to be doing this to as many of my guitars as I can, and I'm going to be offering this as a modification option for my customers from now on. Now that I know how much I like it, I can't just stand by and allow some loser to slap this neck onto a guitar with regular edges. Lame. No, I'm going to roll those puppies. So that's what I did. Now the back of this neck has the same treatment as I showed in my kit build video, because as I mentioned, I've been doing this to all of my necks for ages. However, it's been a while since I've oiled this neck, so I'm going to freshen it up a bit. I sanded it back a bit before polishing it all the way back up to 2000 grit, and then applying multiple coats of boiled linseed oil, and then buffing it up with a rag. This gives the triple benefit of bringing out the natural beauty of the wood, showcasing the figuring and the bird's eyes. It also provides a small amount of protection for the wood from the perils of the world, especially gunk and grime and dirt. And probably more importantly for me, it provides an extremely fast and smooth feel that is very comfortable to play. However, this finish needs to be reapplied every couple of years, just like I am doing in this case. So then I turn my attention to those tuners. The Graphtec ratio tuners are perhaps some of the most advanced tuners on the market. Each tuner has a different gear ratio to compensate for the differences in string diameter. This allows each string to be tuned with ultra fine precision, making it much easier to get into and stay in tune and get back into tune once you're out of tune. These are also locking tuners, which should help to make string changes quick and easy and help to provide improved tuning stability. I used the quick install mounting plates, and I found one that just required me to drill one small screw hole. Did that and they were done. I've really enjoyed using these tuners as I've worked on this guitar. I loved the extra control and precision, especially on the high E and B strings. This whole thing may sound like a gimmick, but in the real world use, it works really well. These are great tuners. I really have been liking them. So that about wraps up the neck. I installed the neck and checked that everything lined up properly before bolting down securely. The setup on this guitar was a little tricky. I used the old strings first because I knew that there was going to be a lot of loosening and retightening, and I wanted to spare that abuse from the new string. So I strung up the guitar and found some issues. Whenever you do a parts caster, there always are issues. You just have to be prepared for it. The action was a little high, even with some of the saddles at their lowest position. So I removed the neck and added a small shim at the base of the neck pocket to give the neck a very slight angle. I just used a small piece of one of my business cards. It was actually the perfect thickness that allowed my saddles to settle into where they needed to be. Now, I proceeded with a rough setup taking some time to dial in the tremolo the way that I like it. Once the strings were on, I finally installed the roller string trees. I find it easier to install string trees once the strings are on, so you can make sure that they are positioned correctly between the strings and they're aligned correctly where they're parallel to the strings and everything. I also found two small errors in how the electronics were working at the same time that didn't reveal themselves during the tap test phase. And that didn't bother me since I knew the strings were going to come off again. So that's what I did. I pulled the strings off, pulled the pickguard off again. I quickly fixed the electronics and addressed the one other issue that I found before putting this guitar together for the last time. I reinstalled the pickguard for what I knew was the last time, starting to get excited. I knew that if I really wanted this guitar to shine, I had to throw a set of premium strings on there. So I installed a set of 10 gauge Stringjoy strings and proceeded to do a proper full setup following the train method of guitar setup to dial it in the way I like it. I had gotten close with the old strings, so this setup was pretty quick. I set up the tremolo to be floating so I could bend up or down, which is how I like to run it. Lastly, I set my pickup height and installed the strap locks. Hey, I can't have this baby falling off while I'm melting faces off, you know? So, now, here I sit, holding my kit guitar that's, well, been completely transformed into a parts caster powerhouse. It's been given a massive facelift and has made the transition from being, I don't know, a pretty cool looking but massively flawed labor of love to being a righteous tone machine that will turn heads and begs to be played. This guitar is perfectly set up. It plays like a dream. It's loaded with premium hardware, which should give it rock solid tuning stability even with heavy vibrato usage. It's got top of the line custom pickups with a one of a kind wiring schematic, and it's got a premium aftermarket neck, and it's even got my name on the headstock. To top it all off, my finishing scheme, which I worked so hard for and was really proud of, is now even better, in my opinion, because of the relicking that I added. This guitar should be able to hold its own against any Strat it goes up against, in my opinion. So let's head over to the amp and hear a before and after sound comparison to see if we can tell the difference. I forgot to record a before clip on the kit guitar, so we'll use the kit from the last video, but we'll see how it stacks up against the EART. Now that this guitar's been souped up, we'll see which one sounds better. And while I'm at it, we'll also throw in the Fender Player Plus, just like I did last time, so we can see how it stacks up against a high quality production guitar. You know what? I'll also just play this a bit and just show you how versatile it is with all the different sounds and pickup combinations. Let's head over to the amp. so those are the sound by sound comparisons that we had last time, but I just want to show you a couple things that this guitar can do also. In the neck position and the bridge position, we always have voice 2. You can override that with the push-pull. So here's the neck pickup, and I can override that and have, that's voice 2, and I can override that and have voice 1. So it's a little bit brighter, a little bit more open and airy sounding. So here's like some open chords, voice 2. Here's voice 1. Here's the bridge pickup, voice 2. Bridge pickup, voice 1. So on the bridge pickup, voice 1 is very open sounding, very bright and jangly. It's got that classic single coil sound, whereas voice 2 is a very kind of in your face sound. The other thing that this guitar can do is, so if I'm on the bridge pickup, I can start to blend in the neck pickup. So here's some chords. Here's a G chord. So that gives you the neck and bridge together, sound like you might get on a Telecaster, and you can use those sounds together. And then you can also access voice 1 on those with the push-pull, which gives you an even brighter sound. So. And then, of course, if you're in the 2 position or the 4 position and you roll that knob in, you can get all 3 pickups together. So here's the 2 position here. Just a quick recap before I send it back to the summary. These are all really good guitars, but I gotta say, there is something special about this guitar. When you pick it up, it's just different. And my kit guitar, even with the Overhaul, as awesome as it is, and it is awesome, when you pick this guitar up, there is something special about it. I just gotta say that. This is a really great guitar. Anyway, back to you, Adam. Oh. Well, hey, what do you think? You think it was worth it? I was somehow able to find almost all of these parts in my shop, either as pull-offs from old guitars or as items purchased for other projects that fell through, or just as available parts in my inventory. I only actually spent about $40 total out of pocket for this entire upgrade session. And that was just for the new switch, string trees, and upgraded strings. I will admit, however, that once again, I did have to throw a considerable amount of time to perform all these upgrades, but I didn't have the timer running this time. I probably should have, though. If I had only purchased the kit and then had wanted to do all of these upgrades and had to pay full price for each of them, brand new at today's prices, I could have easily spent over $1,000 for all of these upgrades. However, almost every single one of the items that I installed today were purchased used and at a massive discount when I bought them. I got them slowly through the years, one at a time, as I could afford them. What's my verdict? I think my new rebuilt kit it's badass. I don't know. I'm so excited to add it to my collection. It plays amazing. I think it looks wicked. It feels great. It stays in tune. It sounds incredible. It's got all of the strat tones that I look for and more. And more than that, it still has all that sentimental value from all the time and effort that I put into it while I was building that kit. It also sounds different than my Player Plus Strat, so I feel like it's going to cover different ground. I feel like this guitar is more like blues and the Fender is more like rock, but both are going to be super versatile. I'm definitely going to be playing them both. So, which guitar did you think sounded better? Was the Overhaul worth the effort, or after all the work, am I still left with a glorified kit guitar? Put your answers in the comments. Hey, thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, hey, please click that little thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and maybe click the bell icon to be notified when new videos come out. And until next time, don't be a jerk. Thanks, guys.